Have you been avoiding fruit because you have diabetes? Has someone ever told you fruit has too much sugar, so you stop buying it altogether? What if I told you that one of the biggest nutrition mistakes people with diabetes make isn't eating too much fruit, it's avoiding the right fruits? And what if one simple change to the fruit you eat every day could help reduce blood sugar spikes, support a healthier A1C over time, and even improve your heart health, all without giving up foods you enjoy? The truth is, not all fruits affect your body the same way. Some are packed with fiber, antioxidants, and natural compounds that help slow the rise in blood sugar after a meal. Others, especially when eaten in the wrong form or in oversized portions, can have the opposite effect. The problem is that most people have never been taught the difference. That's why today, we're counting down the top 3 fruits that people with diabetes should consider adding to a balanced eating plan. And the fruit ranked number 1 surprises almost everyone. In fact, it's a fruit many people have been avoiding for years because of outdated advice. So before you cut another piece of fruit out of your diet, stay with me until the end. The final recommendation could completely change the way you look at healthy eating with diabetes. I'm Dr. James Hartley, and today we're separating diabetes myths from medical evidence so you can make food choices with confidence, not fear. I'll also share the best way to eat each fruit, the serving sizes that make the most sense, and one common mistake that can cancel out many of the benefits, even if you're choosing the healthiest fruit in the grocery store. Let's get started. Why some fruits help blood sugar. Instead of hurting it for years, one of the most common pieces of advice people with diabetes have heard is simple. Stay away from fruit. It's full of sugar. At first, that sounds logical. After all, if your blood sugar is already running high, why would you eat something sweet? But here's where things get interesting. Your body doesn't judge food by taste alone. It responds to the entire package, the fiber, water, vitamins, minerals, and natural plant compounds that come with it. And that's exactly why a whole apple doesn't affect your body the same way as a glass of apple juice, even though they come from the same fruit. Think about it this way. Imagine pouring a bucket of water into a flower pot all at once. The water rushes through almost instantly. Now imagine slowly watering that same flower pot with a watering can. The soil has time to absorb the moisture evenly. That's very similar to what fiber does inside your digestive system. When you eat whole fruit, the fiber slows digestion and helps glucose enter your bloodstream more gradually. That slower release can reduce the sharp blood sugar spikes that are especially important for people with diabetes to avoid. Fruit juice, on the other hand, is a completely different story. When fruit is juiced, much of its fiber is removed. What you're often left with is a concentrated source of natural sugars that your body absorbs much more quickly. Even juices labeled 100% natural can raise blood sugar faster than eating the whole fruit they came from. That's one reason many diabetes specialists recommend choosing whole fruit instead of juice whenever possible. But fiber isn't the only reason certain fruits stand out. Many fruits also contain polyphenols, natural plant compounds that have been studied for their potential to support healthy blood sugar regulation, reduce inflammation, and protect blood vessels from damage. Since diabetes affects far more than glucose levels, supporting heart health and blood vessel function is just as important as watching the number on your glucose meter. In fact, this surprises many people. The American Diabetes Association and many registered dietitians don't tell people with diabetes to eliminate fruit altogether. Instead, they encourage choosing nutrient-dense whole fruits, paying attention to portions, and fitting them into an overall balanced eating plan. That's a very different message from fruit is bad. Another concept that's worth understanding is something called glycemic load. You may have heard of the glycemic index, which measures how quickly a food can raise blood sugar. But glycemic load goes a step further. It also considers how much carbohydrate is actually in a typical serving. Why does that matter? Because a fruit can taste sweet, yet still have a relatively modest impact on blood sugar when eaten in a reasonable portion. That's why focusing only on sweetness can sometimes lead people to make the wrong choices. Here's another mistake I see quite often. Someone gets diagnosed with diabetes and immediately removes every banana, berry, apple, and orange from the kitchen, but at the same time, they're still eating refined crackers, sugary cereals, or heavily processed snack foods because those don't taste as sweet. Ironically, some of those processed foods can send blood sugar soaring much faster than a serving of whole fruit. Have you ever been told to stop eating fruit because of diabetes? Or maybe you've been afraid to eat certain fruits because you weren't sure how they'd affect your blood sugar. I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. Your experience might help someone else who's trying to sort through all the conflicting advice. The good news is that you don't have to fear fruit, you just need to understand which fruits offer the most benefits, how much to eat, and how to enjoy them as part of a healthy meal pattern. And that's exactly where we're headed next. Because the fruit coming in at number 3 is one that millions of Americans already have in their refrigerator, yet very few realize just how powerful it can be for supporting healthier blood sugar levels. Even better, it's packed with nutrients that may benefit your heart, your immune system, and your overall health at the same time. Let's take a closer look. Fruit number 3 and fruit number 2, two powerful choices most people already know. Let's start with fruit number 3. This is one of the easiest fruits to find, one of the most affordable, and one that many people with diabetes have been unnecessarily avoiding for years. Fruit number 3, apples. You've probably heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. While that's certainly an oversimplification, there's a reason apples have earned such a healthy reputation. A medium apple contains about 4 grams of fiber, much of it in the skin. That fiber helps slow the digestion of carbohydrates, which means glucose enters your bloodstream more gradually instead of all at once. But apples have another advantage. They're rich in plant compounds called polyphenols, especially in the peel. Researchers have been studying these natural compounds because they may help support insulin function and reduce oxidative stress, two factors that become increasingly important when managing diabetes over the long term. Does that mean eating an apple will magically lower your blood sugar? No. But when an apple replaces a processed snack like cookies, chips, or candy, it provides fiber, nutrients, and fullness that many packaged foods simply can't match. Here's something else I've noticed over the years. Many people peel their apples because they think the skin is hard to digest. Unless your healthcare provider has advised otherwise, that's usually where much of the fiber and many beneficial nutrients are found. Washing the apple well and eating the skin gives you the greatest nutritional benefit. Now, portion size still matters. A medium-sized apple is generally a sensible serving for most people. Eating 3 or 4 apples in one sitting is a very different story. Even healthy foods can raise blood sugar if portions become excessive. One strategy I often recommend is pairing your apple with a source of protein or healthy fat. For example, a few slices of apple with natural peanut butter. Apple alongside a handful of unsalted almonds. Apple with plain Greek yogurt. These combinations help make the snack more satisfying and may slow digestion even further. Have you tried pairing fruit with protein before? Or do you usually eat fruit by itself? I'd love to hear what works best for you in the comments. Now here's something many people don't realize. An apple isn't only supporting your blood sugar, it may also benefit your heart. Since people living with diabetes have a higher risk of cardiovascular disease, choosing foods that support both blood sugar management and heart health is a smart long-term strategy. But as impressive as apples are, our number 2 fruit may offer even more when it comes to fighting inflammation and supporting healthy blood vessels. Fruit number 2, berries. Whether it's blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, or blackberries, berries are nutritional powerhouses. In fact, if I had to pick one group of fruits that consistently impresses nutrition researchers, berries would be near the top of the list. Here's why. Compared to many other fruits, berries are relatively lower in natural sugar while being incredibly rich in fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. Those deep red, blue, and purple colors aren't just beautiful, they come from natural compounds called anthocyanins. These antioxidants have been studied for their potential role in supporting insulin sensitivity, reducing inflammation, and protecting blood vessels from damage. And that's especially important because diabetes isn't just about blood sugar. Over time, elevated blood sugar can affect the heart, kidneys, eyes, nerves, and circulation. That's why foods that help protect your blood vessels deserve a place on the table. 1 cup of fresh strawberries or about 3/4 of a cup of blueberries can fit nicely into many balanced meal plans. Frozen berries are another excellent option because they're typically picked at peak ripeness and retain most of their nutritional value. Just make sure they're unsweetened. Here's one mistake I see all the time. People buy flavored berry yogurt, berry smoothies from coffee shops, or dried cranberries loaded with added sugar and assume they're getting the same benefits. Unfortunately, those products often contain enough added sugar to completely change how they affect your blood glucose. Whole berries or frozen berries without added sugar are usually the better choice. Another easy way to enjoy them is sprinkling fresh berries over plain Greek yogurt or adding them to a bowl of oatmeal with a few chopped walnuts. That combination provides fiber, protein, and healthy fats that can help create a more balanced breakfast. And here's something encouraging. You don't need exotic superfoods shipped from halfway around the world to eat well with diabetes. Some of the most beneficial choices are already sitting in the produce section of your local grocery store. Do you already eat apples or berries regularly? Which one is your favorite? Let me know below. I'm always interested to hear what healthy habits you've already built. If you're enjoying today's discussion, you might also want to watch our video on foods that help support healthy blood sugar levels after this one. It goes even deeper into everyday nutrition choices that can make managing diabetes a little easier without making your meals feel restrictive. But don't leave just yet, because neither apples nor berries claim the #1 spot. The fruit coming up next surprises almost everyone. In fact, it's one that countless people with diabetes have been avoiding for years because they believed a common myth. Once you understand the science behind it, you may never look at this fruit the same way again. The #1 fruit that may surprise you. And now we've reached the fruit that usually sparks the biggest debate. In fact, every time I bring this up, someone inevitably says, "Wait, I thought people with diabetes weren't supposed to eat that." That's exactly why it earned the #1 spot. Fruit #1, oranges, yes. Whole oranges, not orange juice, not orange-flavored drinks, the whole fruit. For years, oranges have been unfairly blamed because people focus on one thing, the natural sugar. But that's only part of the story. When you eat a whole orange, you're getting much more than sweetness. You're getting fiber, water, vitamin C, potassium, and a variety of beneficial plant compounds that work together in a way that juice simply can't match. Here's what makes that difference so important. Imagine eating a whole orange. It takes time to peel it, separate the slices, chew each bite, and digest the fiber. Your body processes that food gradually. Now compare that to drinking a large glass of orange juice. In just a minute or two, you've consumed the juice from several oranges, but without most of the fiber that slows sugar absorption. It's much easier to drink far more sugar than you would ever eat in whole fruit. That's why whole oranges and orange juice are not nutritionally equivalent, even though they come from the same fruit. Another benefit many people overlook is satiety, the feeling of fullness. Because whole oranges contain fiber and a high amount of water, they're surprisingly filling. Feeling satisfied after a snack can make it easier to avoid reaching for cookies, candy, or other highly processed foods later in the day. And over time, those small choices can make a meaningful difference. Now, I want to be very clear about something. You may have seen dramatic claims online saying that a certain fruit can reverse diabetes overnight, or erase high blood sugar naturally. That's simply not how diabetes works. No fruit, no matter how nutritious, can reverse diabetes on its own. If someone tells you that eating one specific food will cure diabetes, that's a claim you should approach with a healthy dose of skepticism. The reality is much more encouraging and much more realistic. Healthy blood sugar management comes from the combination of balanced nutrition, regular physical activity, quality sleep, stress management, maintaining a healthy weight when appropriate, and taking medications exactly as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Think of fruit as one important piece of that puzzle, not the entire picture. Now let's talk about the best way to enjoy an orange. A medium whole orange is generally an appropriate serving for many people. Instead of drinking juice with breakfast, try eating the whole orange alongside a meal that includes protein and healthy fats, such as eggs, cottage cheese, or a handful of nuts. That combination helps create a more balanced meal and may reduce rapid changes in blood sugar compared with eating carbohydrates by themselves. Here's another mistake I see fairly often. Some people replace whole oranges with products that sound healthy, like orange-flavored fruit snacks, orange juice cocktails, or smoothies loaded with sweetened yogurt and fruit juice concentrates. Despite the marketing, those products can behave very differently in your body than a fresh orange. Whenever possible, choose the fruit in its most natural form. One question I hear a lot is, can I eat fruit at night? The answer isn't the same for everyone. What's most important is your overall eating pattern, your portion sizes, and how your individual body responds. If you monitor your blood sugar at home, you may notice that certain foods affect you differently than someone else. That's one reason it's so valuable to work with your healthcare provider or a registered dietitian to personalize your meal plan. I'm curious, were you surprised to see whole oranges take the #1 spot? Or is there another fruit you thought would be first? Let me know in the comments. I always enjoy seeing which nutrition myths people have heard over the years. Now, before you head to the grocery store and start filling your cart with apples, berries, and oranges, there's one final piece of the puzzle you absolutely need to understand. Because even the healthiest fruit can work against you if you eat it the wrong way. And honestly, this is where many people unknowingly sabotage their blood sugar without realizing it. In the next section, I'll show you the simple habits that can help you get the most benefit from fruit while avoiding the mistakes that cause unnecessary blood sugar spikes. How to eat fruit the right way, plus final takeaways. Now that you know the top 3 fruits, here's the part that often matters even more than which fruit you choose. It's how you eat it. I've seen people make healthy choices and still end up frustrated because their blood sugar numbers didn't improve the way they expected. Why? Because even nutritious foods work best when they're part of an overall healthy eating pattern. Let's start with the first rule. Watch your portions. One of the biggest misconceptions is that if a food is healthy, you can eat as much of it as you want. Unfortunately, our bodies don't work that way. A medium apple, a medium orange, or about a cup of berries can fit into many balanced meal plans. But eating several servings back-to-back can still raise your blood sugar more than you'd like. It's not about avoiding fruit, it's about finding the amount that works best for your body. The second rule is one I recommend to almost everyone. Don't eat fruit by itself every single time. Instead, pair it with a source of protein or healthy fat. For example, a handful of almonds with an apple, plain Greek yogurt topped with fresh berries, cottage cheese with orange slices, or even a small serving of natural peanut butter alongside your fruit. These combinations don't just make your snack more satisfying, they can also help slow digestion, making it less likely that your blood sugar will rise quickly. Another tip that often surprises people is this. Fresh and frozen fruit are both excellent choices. Many people assume frozen fruit isn't as healthy. In reality, frozen fruit is usually picked at peak ripeness and frozen shortly afterward, helping preserve much of its nutritional value. Just check the ingredient list. The best option is fruit with no added sugar. Now let's talk about 2 products that often confuse shoppers: fruit juice and dried fruit. Fruit juice may sound healthy because it's made from fruit, but without much of the fiber, your body absorbs the natural sugars much faster. It's also incredibly easy to drink the equivalent of 3 or 4 oranges in just a few minutes. Dried fruit presents another challenge. Because the water has been removed, the sugars become much more concentrated. A small handful can contain the same amount of natural sugar as several servings of fresh fruit, making portion control much more important. That doesn't necessarily mean you can never enjoy dried fruit, but it does mean you should be more mindful of serving sizes. Here's another practical grocery tip. When you're shopping, spend most of your time around the perimeter of the store, where you'll usually find fresh produce, dairy, lean proteins, and other minimally processed foods. The more foods look like they came from nature, the easier it often becomes to build balanced meals. Now, I also want to leave you with something that's just as important as anything we've covered today. Managing diabetes isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Maybe this week you replace an afternoon candy bar with berries and Greek yogurt. Next week you swap fruit juice for a whole orange. A week later you start adding an apple with a handful of nuts instead of reaching for chips. Those small decisions may seem insignificant in the moment, but repeated day after day, week after week, month after month, they can add up to meaningful improvements in your overall health. And remember, if you're taking insulin or medications that can lower blood sugar, it's important to talk with your healthcare provider before making significant changes to your diet. As your eating habits improve, your treatment plan may need to be adjusted to help avoid episodes of low blood sugar. I'd love to hear from you. Which of today's 3 fruits are you going to add to your grocery list first? Apples, berries, or oranges? Or is there another fruit that's worked well for you? Share your experience in the comments. Your story could encourage someone who's just beginning their diabetes journey. If you found today's video helpful, I also recommend watching our video on foods that help support healthy blood sugar levels. It dives deeper into everyday meal choices that pair perfectly with the fruits we talked about today and can help you build a more diabetes-friendly plate. If this video gave you a new perspective, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest evidence-based health videos. I'm Dr. James Hartley, and my goal is to help you make informed, practical decisions that support a healthier life, one small habit at a time. Thank you so much for watching, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.